Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to make these really neat adjustable wire bracelets. Now I don't know if I'm the first person to come up with this wire looping technique or not. Those of you that watch my channel should know that I mainly do bead weaving, bead stitching, but I also like to mess around and play with all different kinds of materials. I've even made jewelry out of jigsaw puzzle pieces. How many people do weird stuff like that? I do. So anyways, I was playing with my wire jig and I came up with this looping technique. And I didn't have enough pegs to make this long enough, so I'm like, I should do this with round nose pliers, and if I do, I will be able to use a heavier gauge wire, because when you're playing with a wire jig, you can only really use like a 20 gauge wire. You can't really go up that high. 18 gauge is a struggle on a jig. So I made this with my round nose pliers, and my loops aren't really consistent. They're off a little bit, but I'm totally fine with that. It's handmade. It just looks really cool. I love it. And after I did the wire looping, I had to put beads in the holes because I'm Beadifulnights and everything is better with beads. So I figured out how to do that, and it's really easy. It just looks so cool. And I was thinking about making a wire cuff with this looping technique, but this looping takes so much wire. Anyways, I came up with this looping technique and I figured out how to put the beads in it, and I decided to make it an adjustable bracelet just because it's just so darn cool. And I really love this project for gift giving because it's very cheap and affordable to make, and I can make several of them because it doesn't take long. It's just perfect. So I'm going to go over the list of materials with you guys. Here's the other one that I did, and I'm going to tell you guys some options that you have. Here is the list of materials you will need to make a bracelet. You will need at least 16 gauge wire. I do not recommend 18 for this. You do want a heavier gauge. Now let's say you don't have 16 gauge wire and you don't want to spend a lot of money on this. Well, you can go, if you want, to the Dollar Tree and get their floral wire. It comes in 12 gauge, only one size, and you can get it in red, green, purple, or gold. And by the way, they're all sold separately. So anyways, this one here I actually made with the Dollar Tree wire, and because the wire is thicker than the 16, this is 12, this is 16, I did have to end up making my loops bigger, but it still worked out just fine. So that's an option for you in case you don't want to spend a lot of money. And you're also going to need 24 gauge wire, and you will need to cut 16 inches of this, and that's how we put our beads on, is with that. And you're also going to need cording, and I am using 1.5 millimeter nylon cording. I got this from BB Craft. It comes in several different colors. I will link it down below there. As you can see, the spools are huge. And for this cording, you will have to cut two 12-inch pieces. So each side here is 12 inches long, and it's folded in half. You will also need beads, and I found that you can really use any size bead you want for this. Now, it just depends on the hole that you make with your loop, and you're basically just trying to fill your holes. And what I did is I'm actually using my lampwork beads because they're not perfectly round, and because my loops here aren't perfectly round, they worked great together, and plus I feel like it's really artsy looking. You're also going to need a large hole bead for your clasp. And I'm using metal ones here, but really there's so many different large hole beads. I have acrylic ones, I have gemstone ones, I have, what are they called, European beads that have large holes. So look through your stash because you're probably going to have some large hole beads. Now for the tools, you're going to need round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, wire cutter, a nylon hammer, and a bench block. Now, I've told you guys in a previous video, if you can't get your hands on a bench block, but if you have a husband, go and ask him for something that you can work hard in your wire on. Basically, you just want a metal surface that is pretty solid. Something I thought of if I didn't have this would be a axe. I have this axe that's shiny, that there's not a lot of rust on it, and I can actually work hard in my metal on that. So this is just some ideas that I thought of, and this is the list of materials, and I will have links and notes and stuff down there below in the description bar. We're going to start by working with a 16 gauge wire, and I just opened up my spool some. I do not cut a length of wire for this because I don't know how much I will need. I just know that it takes a lot, so I like to work straight off the spool. And I'm going to flush cut the end of this because, as you could see, I don't have a flush cut. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I have to decide how big I want my loops to be. And this is the first loop, so it's important. And I did think that I was kind of like midway down my pliers right here. I just gotta make sure my beads are gonna fit in here, so let's see. There, that looks good. I'm actually not sure what color lampwork beads I want to use for this. Okay, so I have this done, and now what I do is I put my pliers in here like this, okay, and I wrap around like this, and then I pick it up, and I have to, I'm always adjusting, making my loops bigger, and I'm going this direction, okay, like that, okay. So I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to grab here, and I'm going to bend in this direction. One thing I have realized, you have to make sure that you stay on the same side as you do this. This is what I have so far, okay? Because like if I flip this over and started working on this side, then I would start overlapping on this side. You want to overlap your wires on the same side. And I find that I am constantly adjusting this as I go. Yeah, this loop here could be bigger. Okay, that's what I have so far. So now I'm going to put my pliers in here like this. See, I have this. I think I need to turn this one more. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab it on this side and wrap in this direction. And sometimes you may feel that your loops are too close to each other, so you can go like this and bring them closer together. Or if they're too close, then you can go like this and make them further apart. There's just so much adjusting that you can do. Okay, this is what I have so far. I do feel that I made that one too small. Maybe I can spin this one, which will give me more room over there. I don't know. They're not perfect. It is kind of hard to get them all the same, but I like that they're kind of different because it's handmade. Okay, so I'm going to show you after I do another loop after this one. I want to show you what it looks like from the side. Trying to spin that one. Okay, so I have that so far. I'm gonna grab it right here and turn it this way. Okay, now from the side view, this is what it looks like. It's kind of like stairs. Do you see how it steps down? So we're overlapping on just this side. If you flip this over and you start to do this on the other side, you'll see that it does not look right. And if you start doing it, you can actually fix it. You don't have to trash it. You can straighten your wire back out and fix it. Just be careful that you don't go really far doing it. If you just do a couple wraps, you can't actually fix it. So this is what mine looks like so far. It actually looks good. I thought it started out pretty messy, but it's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to go like this a little bit more so I can come into this area and make a loop here. Oh, come on, go down a little bit. There we go. So see how this one's overlapping this one? I just go like this, put them in there, and pull them apart. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to put my pliers on this side and wrap this way. And I have to adjust. Try to make sure that you hold down here when you're doing adjustments, because if you're holding back here, you're going to be twisting this up. You'll see. This section here can actually be closer together. There's a gap there. Now we are going to hammer this, which will alter it some. I'm trying to get this loop a little bit bigger. Okay, I'm going to grab on this side and go this way. So basically, I just tried, when I made this, as I went, I put this on top of my wrist, and I just wanted it to go from my, the wrist bone, one side here of the bone, to the other, like that. That was my goal. I didn't count my loops, and I found because I used different gauge wire, I found that because I did that, I didn't have to, well, this one here I have more loops on, see? Because this is a thinner gauge wire, I had to do more loops. Because this was thicker gauge, I didn't have to do as many loops. So really, you're not counting your loops, you're just trying to get it to fit the top of your wrist just right. That's the goal. Let's see, what does it look like from that side? Oh, I have to show you this side. This side, it looks like a plant to me, because see how it's stepped like that? It kind of looks like a fern leaf or something. I think it's cool. I'm going to get some more wire out here. Okay, so I now have it long enough for my bracelet, and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put my pliers up through here, wrap this around, just like that. Come in here and cut this, and then I have to do some adjusting. Okay, so chain those pliers. I'm gonna close this. Make sure it's closed all the way. And I'm just going to adjust my loops. Some of them are really close together. Some of them are too far apart. And I have to get ready to hammer this, so just doing some adjusting so it looks pretty, and then I'll be back to hammer this with you guys. Now I'm going to work hard on it, but hammering it is also going to change the shape of it for us, because right now it has this kind of stepped stairs look, And see how there's gaps? So, yeah, you can really see it from this angle. See these big gaps? So when I go to hammer it, all of these loops are going to touch each other. So see this one here? See from this angle how it looks? You can see a difference here. So I really like how hammering changes it. I'll show you this one here too. Okay? And I'm probably going to fast forward through this because it's going to be loud, and I'm actually hammering on top of my glass tabletop, so I got to be careful. And I actually prefer, and by the way, if you do have a bench block and you have to hammer, I recommend that you put this on the leg of your table. So right above the corner of your table, your desk, put your bench block there and hammer it there. Also, putting a towel below the rubber bench block does quiet the noise some. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Turn it around. This is what it looks like so far. I also like to flip it over, and I do this side. And you might find that you have to do some more adjusting. So see down here, my loops are far apart. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to make them come back together. Okay, just like that. And I continue on hammering. Actually, here's another spot. Okay, it's looking good so far. So I'm just going to keep on hammering, and I will be back. Okay, I'm done hammering it, and it looks really good. It actually looks better than my other ones. And I guess it's because the wires are sitting more side by side each other. I don't know, but I've not curved it yet. So see how these have a slight curve? So you want to find something that's round, and you want to curve it around it, but you also want to figure out which side you like best. I think both the sides look the same. Maybe I'll go this direction. Okay, and you just want to curve it around something. You can do this with your fingers, and depending on how work hard my wire is, I might have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it with my fingers. Check it on your wrist, and looks good. Okay, so now we are going to do the 24 gauge wire and the beads, and I gotta figure out what color beads I'm gonna use. Okay, this is my second time filming this because I was not in frame. This here is the top where we first started. This is our very first loop. So I want to hide my wraps down here underneath these wires, okay? And this here is going to be where our bracelet is attached to with the cording. Same on this side. And so I want to have my first bead be here because this is the second loop, and then that's the third because this one's closer to that one. Does that make sense? This one's dropped down more to this one. So I need my wire to be here on the bottom side like this. So I'm going to bend maybe here my wire. Okay, and flipping this to the back. Remember, this is the top, this is the last loop we made, so I want to be working on this side. I want to be like this, I'm thinking. Yeah, because if I went this way, my wire would slip through there, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to wrap my wire like this. So I'm going to go through here. And I'm going to wrap this around. And I need my chain nose pliers so I can get tight loops. Okay, this is what I have right now. Pull this tight, and I'm going to wrap this through here. Scoot these wires together. Pull tight, go around. And I think I did like 5 wraps because I wanted this to be strong. You guys know that I like my jewelry to be strong and durable, and I'm always reinforcing it and making sure that it's going to last. So that's what this side looks like. And I think I'm just going to use up all my wire. Okay, so here I am, I'm on the bottom. This is exactly where I need to be. That's good. This is what it looks like from the top. I can scoot it down a little bit more, like that. So it is more hidden. See? You can't see it. Okay, so now I'm going to start by picking up a bead. And this hole here is big. And remember I said how it was kind of hard to get them all to be the same size loops, so I'm going to put a big bead in here. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. That's why I'm using lampwork. I'm going to slide the bead down just like this. I'm going to put my wire up through just like this. Pull it through. Be careful that you don't kink it. Be careful, be careful. Okay, just like that. Okay, now remember, I split these loops so I can pass my wire in through here. So I'm going to do that just like this. See that? And then I'm going to go in between these two here. Pull this tight. I'm going to wrap this around one time. Just like that. And if you want, you can come in here and scoot this wire down so that it's next to that. But I really didn't do that. I didn't worry about that. That was not a problem for me. Okay, now I have to pick up another bead, and this loop here is a smaller one, so I have to find a tiny bead to fit in there. Okay, that's a good one. Slide the bead down the wire and then pass up through the next loop, this one here. If you go like this at the bottom to prevent it from twisting, it helps so that you don't get a kink. Okay, there we go. Now I have this. I'm going to go in between these two wires. Okay, and then I already have a wrap there. Can you see that? So I need to go up here between these two, just like that. Pull it tight, and then I'm going to go again in between and make a wrap just like that. Okay, and then I have to pick up a new bead, and again you want to pick up your bead, make sure it's going to fit in your hole. You do want room in there. If it's snug, it's not going to work. That one's too big. That one's too big. This one's probably going to be the best. Okay, so slide the bead down. Again, go up through the hole. Pull through. Just like that. go in between these two wires. Okay, I already have a wrap here, so I'm going to have to go up here in between these two, just like this. And then I'm going to twist. I'm going to go back through that gap there, just like that. And now I'm on this side. Okay, I'm going to pick up a bead. And that one's too big. This one will do. Slide it down, go up through the next hole. Okay, just like this. I'm going to go in between these two wires. And then in between these two. And then back between these two where it started. And now I'm on this side. Okay, pick up another bead. Again, you'll have to adjust to fit your hole. I think I'm at a big hole. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this one. Now if you pick up a bead and then you pass your wire through your hole and it doesn't work, which that's probably gonna happen to me because it happened to me when I was making the other ones, but if that happens, you can undo it and replace the bead. Okay, there I am. I'm gonna go in between these two wires here, just like this, and then in between these two, and I'm going around like that. I have to put a bead here. Slide the bead down, go up through this hole. Okay, in between these two wires, in between these two wires, and back to the same spot. Now this side. Again, I'm picking up another bead, sliding it down, going through my loop. Making sure it fits. Going through here, pulling it tight, going through these two, and back where I started. I did get some rounds that look squashed, almost like rondelles, because they actually fit really good in the smaller loops. That's what it looks like so far. I'm gonna keep going. I love it. Alright, this hole here looks bigger. Yeah, that's gonna work. Slide the bead down, go through the loop. That's weird, it got stuck right there. Okay. Just like that. Oops, wrong side. Right there. Twist it and go around. Just like that. Picking up another bead. I'm unsure if I should fast forward to this or not, so let's see how it goes when I go to edit. I'm on this side, I'm gonna go between these two wires and then back through where I started, just like that. And then over here, this is a big loop, so I can put this one in up through here, through these two wires, going around. Slide the bead down, up through here. Like this. Okay, I'm almost there. This is a small spot. That one should work. Through here. Okay. So I'm gonna go around. Boy, this is gonna seem screwy. I'm gonna go around like this. Okay. And I'm going to have to lift this up some so I can pull this tight. There we go. My wire is hidden. Now I'm on this side. I'm gonna pick up a bead, slide it down, go up through this hole, and then I have to turn it like this. And I think what I did last time is I weaved it through that spot right there, so I hope this bead that I chose is going to let me do it, because it looks like it's blocking it. Yeah, maybe it will. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to lift this loop up just a little bit though, because I don't have much space to work with, okay? So I have this, and there is this tiny little hole right here where I'm going to go through and wrap my wire around. You want to make sure that you're just catching this wire. We're going to be wrapping the wire around this one right here. Okay, so pulling that through, just like that. I'm going to take this wire and scooch it down. Let's twist it a bit. Okay, I'm going to come around. See, I just want to round like that so that it's hidden, and I'm going to pass the wire back up through. Pull it tight with the chain nose, come back around like this. Okay, and then feed it back up through here. Through, and I do this like 4 or 5 times. Come back through here like this, and I'm gonna have to scooch these together. I could probably actually stop right here. It looks good, but let's see, can I get one more in? I'm gonna go for it. Okay, come around like that. Come on, come around, okay? And then I'm going to trim it and tuck it in. Okay, and there we go. It's so pretty. I love blue. I wonder if I should flatten mine out a little bit. Maybe I curved it too much when I was separating the loops. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how to do the cording. And it looks like this moved on me, so I'm just going to scoot this back down. Like that. So it can't be seen from the top. So as you can see, I cut my 2 lengths of cord. They're each a foot long. And one here I already melted the ends on. This is nylon cord, so it's meltable. I have to do this one. And I melt it and I roll it between my fingers, and think it'd be like super hot, but it's not. Okay. So I just make sure that it's rounded and that it's not sharp. And then, when that's melted, all the sides are melted, I then take the cord and I pass it through one of the loops here, and I put my ends together so it is even. Go like this, find the center, okay, pinch it here with my fingers. I go like this, and I tie my knot. I just make sure that the cords are parallel to each other, so that I have a nice clean knot, and I slide this knot down just like this. Make sure that they're even. Okay, and then I pull each tail individually to tighten up the knot. Okay, there's one side. I'm going to do the same to this side. I'm going to put the large hole bead onto the cord so that our bracelet is adjustable. Now here's the thing, I've seen adjustable bracelets made 2 different ways. So as you can see here, my bead is going straight so that my cords are going straight down through the bead like this. Now I have seen other companies put their bead on where the bead is going this way, okay, so that the cords are crisscrossed through the bead. Now every time I have worn a bracelet like that, I've noticed that the bracelet wants to fall off. It won't stay on because the cords are just going like this. They easily slip past each other. So I found that if you put the bead on in this direction, that there is actually friction right here, and it prevents the bracelet from falling off as much. So naturally you're wearing it on your wrist right and it just makes it harder for the, see this? It makes it harder for the cords to slip through. But if you turn a bead the other direction, your bracelet's going to fall right off. It's really annoying. I've actually had to take bracelets apart that I've bought that had the bead going in the other direction just because it was falling off so much. And I put it on this way and it fixed the problem. So that's something I've realized with designing jewelry. Is one of those problems. Okay, so put the bead on, and I'm going to do this side first, okay, and I want to make sure that my cords are going through it so it's not twisted. So I have these 2 laying parallel, and then I'm going to put one side here in, and I'm going to use a bead awl to help me get through here. Okay, so it's easier to get 3 in, and I need to make sure that this one goes through right here so that they're all parallel. So I just go like this and I push my little melted end in the hole best I can, and then I go to my bead awl and I grab that melted spot and I push it through till it comes out here, okay, and then pull all the cords and they should all be parallel. See that? So now what I have to do is go like this, okay, because See, these two here are the pair, and I'm going to tie a knot in these right at the very end. I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. Put the ends together and bring it down. Just like that. Down, pull it tight. Take these two, make sure those don't get stuck in there. Okay, I'm going to go like this now. And do the same thing to this side. Okay, once you get this tight, as tight as you can get it, you can melt this knot so it doesn't unravel. This is also another really good thing to do. So what's happening is you are bending or blending the fibers together when you melt it. You just do it just a little bit. Does not take much at all. You don't have to like really melt it. You're just brushing the flame up against the knot, and it's making it all melt together. You do this side. Okay, looks good, and there we go, we're all done. I think this one's my favorite. I've really been loving working with copper. So cute. This is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, make sure you click the bell button so you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and check me out on my social media sites. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.